Welcome again to Contemplative Roots and looking at learning from Ignatius of Loyola, who lived towards the end of the 1400s into the 1500s. I want to tell you a little bit about Ignatius. I can get carried away on Ignatius, so I'm going to try and be brief, but I think his story is absolutely vital to this bit. Ignatius became a courtier and a soldier. I think a courtier meant that you sort of hung around the court of someone important and sort of ate their food, or I don't know, made a living somehow just being around and doing the errands perhaps. But he was also a soldier, and in battle he was badly injured. His leg was badly broken by a cannonball, and that led to a time of suffering for him. I won't go into the details, but it must have been awful, and a long period of convalescence. Now, Ignatius grew up within the Roman Catholic faith of the time, before the Reformation, so it was, the church in Spain. But I don't think there's any sign that he had a real faith for himself. He hadn't made that connection with God. But in his convalescence, he was very bored, and so he read. And yet the only things that he could find to read were romances of the time, which were very tame, sort of tales of courtly love, and the lives of the saints. That's really all there was, and I think he got hold of the Bible in desperation, although I don't think it would have been his first choice. But he made a hugely important discovery when he looked back at his feelings when he was reading, and he found that he felt better looking back on the times of being reading the spiritual books than the, for want of a better word, secular books. And that became a turnaround, and it led him to finding faith and becoming a hugely influential Christian leader, founding the Jesuits, and setting up the foundations for them in the spiritual exercises. But it's this looking back. We can judge the importance of things in our lives by either looking forward towards things, I'm really looking forward to such and such, or looking back on them and seeing how we felt when we look back. And those two are quite different. And neuroscience is now understanding that they are different circuits in the brain. And actually, the looking back circuit is more trustworthy. The looking forward circuit is unreliable, because we can get quite excited about things and then they disappoint us. But we're more realistic when we look back. And I think that is just an absolutely brilliant piece of understanding and really, really helpful. So if you're trying to discern the significance of things, reflect back. But it's also a major strand in his spirituality, and that is to reflect back on things. And a major part of Ignatian Jesuit spirituality is the examen. And again, I was recommending Pray As You Go. There are a number of specific examen things to listen to, which will help you go through. And it's really important that examen, and I use the word separately, is not self-examination, because I think that can be very negative. It is an examination of our awareness of God. And that is just so different. So it's looking back and saying, where was I aware of God in the last day? I do it in the morning, so I look over what I've done this morning and yesterday. Where was I aware of God? And this is very much the heart of my series of sessions called Encounters on the Way. And I'd really love to be able to record those for YouTube, but the window of opportunity is going past, and I'm not managing it, but I may get there. We'll see how we go. So, I mean, that really is the best thing to do it, because I explain it more fully and give people a chance to have a go and then feedback, and that is really important. But let me try and do it really quickly this morning and really just tell you what I do. In my prayer, I have 5 things. Well, first of all, I do some mindfulness prayer, then I do some contemplative prayer, centering prayer for 20 minutes. Then I read the Bible or have it read to me through Pray As You Go. And then I come on to 5 steps. And the first is to give thanks. And I do this. I always found it quite hard just to, what am I thankful for? Count your blessings. But what I do is look back over yesterday and find something to thank God for. What am I thankful for? What were those moments of joy? Was it out in the park walking with a dog, or out on my bike? Or what was it? I think it was, of course this is yesterday when I did this, it was being out on my bike in the sunshine. Just gave me a fantastic feeling. And this is really good neuroscience, because we lose the good things. Our brains are brilliant at latching on to problems and difficulties, but we easily forget the good things. So going back and enjoying again, savouring again some good experience is really, really important. So that's the first thing. Then I lay today before God. Then I do my awareness of God. Then I pray for people. And then I ask God, what is he saying to me today? So that's my 5 fingers at the moment of prayer. So the middle finger is the, and I'm trying to do this now in a way that's a little bit different. I used to just say, where was God yesterday? And that meant something to me, but I'm learning quickly that it doesn't mean a lot to other people. So I think I approach it in 2 ways. Where was I most aware of God yesterday? And where was I least aware of God yesterday? And both of those are really significant. I find them really important. So I suppose you're in an attitude of prayer, you're stilling yourself, and then you sort of run the videotape, probably you sort of fast forward the videotape over yesterday, if you can understand videotapes. I know I've gone past that. And then you let God press play. So you're looking for a nudge from God to where what you want to play again, where there was that sense of his presence. And for me, doing this yesterday morning, it was with Anne doing an imaginative reflection from Pray As You Go, which was just brilliant. And that was just such a wonderful sense of closeness with God. So that was my moment for that day. And then when was I least aware of God? There was a time when everything got on top of me and I got cross and grumpy and things. And yeah, in that time, I lose awareness of God. So that was important to me, significant to me. So I'll stop now, but then the next video will be just how to do that. So just approaching it again, probably quite quickly, just going through that, reflecting back, the examination, not self-examination, the examination of our consciousness of God. Amen.